Good day and welcome to our watercolor journey. I'm going to do a spontaneous painting with a lot of white paper left. I'm really going to focus on high contrast in this painting. First of all, you need to have a basic plan of what you want to do and a color palette that you want to use. The materials I used is listed here, and I will also add it in the description list. Something I really like to do is just spray the paper with a little bit of water, and then I'm going to add a lot more moisture in certain areas of the paper because I really want that paint to flow and create its own magic. I'm just adding a little bit of yellow there for a little bit of sunlight at the back. And then I'm going to start adding in different colors, and I want that to mix and blend on the paper itself. I think personally, with that initial layer, you do not want to fiddle too much. And I'm creating a little bit of a lake there. And I know this initial layer doesn't always make sense, but let watercolor work for you, and then you do the rest. And remember that initial layer needs to be soft and blend on its own. You can see in the background it's much cooler colors, and then as soon as you come to the foreground it will be warmer colors. Just creating a lot of interest in the initial layer, and I'm lifting out that little sun of mine. That yellow is really stuck, so I used the stencil brush to lift out the color. And I think later on you will see it was actually not really necessary because the colors will blend again into that area, and I could have lifted it out even more if I wanted to, but I think I liked the idea that it created. So first of all, splattering a little bit in the background because I really want interest and a variety of colors, and you do not want to disturb that bottom layer. So now I'm just creating a few branches in the background and just laying the basis for background. I'm just really playing around at this point and trying to create a little bit of shape and definition in that initial layer. And once again, as soon as things are done in the first layer and the paper is still wet, you will get beautiful soft edges. Once again, I'm just really creating random marks, and there I'm just adding a little bit of shadow in that foreground area of mine. Rigger brush is really very useful to have, and you can use it to create fine lines, and you can even use her belly to create interesting marks. I'm just dabbing my rigger brush into water and creating lighter marks in the background. Anywhere that you want the white of the paper to shine through, you can use this technique. But remember, don't use a very wet brush, just a damp brush. I'm just splatting in a little bit of water there again, just to create more texture and more interest. And let your painting dry. As you can see, those colors fused back beautifully. And I'm just bringing in a little bit more sunlight because that fused back quite a bit. Now I'm just going to start creating some trees in the background. And just creating random marks to define the ground area. As you can see, it already makes a lot of interest just to create those harder edges and the soft edges. On the right hand side, I've wetted the paper a little bit, and because I really wanted that contrast between the harder edge and the softer edge on the right hand side. And I'm spraying a little bit more so that paint can spread even more. I'm using marine blue. That's a gorgeous color to use. You can already see the painting is starting to take shape. And once again, I'm bringing in some darker colors just to create some shadows and that the background doesn't look flat. I'm wetting the water area because I want to create some reflections of the trees in the water, because that will make it look much more convincing. And try to use the same colors that you used in your trees in the background. Especially with a spontaneous painting, you'll have to look what you still need. Once again, I'm really making a lot of random marks, and that is up to your viewer to interpret those marks and decide for themselves what do they see, what they don't see. I'm just starting to create some trees. and some foliage in the foreground, or actually the midground there at the moment. And once again bringing in some darker values just to emphasize that light against dark. You can see that area is still very wet, so that area will be much softer and blend out, and the bottom part is already dry. So you definitely see a big contrast. But I'm going to use that to my advantage and create the effect that there's some trees even in that midground behind the foreground trees. Still building up some of my trees. And once again, those background areas are fusing back a lot, and the bottom part creates lots of hard edges. But I'm going to use that bottom part as my basis for my foreground trees. Watercolor is always about layering and developing your painting as you go along. And remember to use a variety of colors. Because you definitely do not want a monotonous painting. I'm really just making random dry brush marks, and that also helps to create texture. And I'm also going to splat in a lot of different colors there. But I do not want them to be hard edges, so I'm spraying it a little bit with the water. And I really think that creates a beautiful effect in the foreground. I think that's it. So now your painting can dry again. So you can see I've got that foreground tree that started at the bottom, and now I'm just building it up, and that creates more depth and dimension in your painting. I've loved doing these pine trees. They're so much fun just to play around and create interesting marks. And once again, you can see there's a lot of contrast in this painting. And I think that's one of the parts that's definitely making it work. So if you find this video interesting, please subscribe. I'm just bringing in a little bit of that Aussie red gold on the left hand side, Just a bit of sunshine that's on the tree. And it's creating some more grasses and little twigs just to give definition to the water area and also to enhance the foreground. I think I'm signing it now. I'm going to leave it as it is. So please like, subscribe, and comment for me. Thank you for watching. See you next time.